in this video. What is common between Maverick Vinales, Andrea Dovizioso and now Franco Morbidelli? We love Danilo and want to keep him at KTM, says Pit Beirer. Franky says Dovi is super strong, super fast on the Yamaha. And Andrea Dovizioso goes into the details of rider safety, takes a cheeky dig at Jack Miller. My name is Sankalp and this is your Racing News Fix. 2021 has been a very unusual MotoGP season with multiple rider movements in the middle of the year. His earlier than planned move to Aprilia gave Maverick Vinales an unprecedented access to track time on the bike he was supposed to race on next year, basically making the last 6 races of this season a pre-test for himself at Aprilia. His early move left a hole in the factory Yamaha team, which was filled by promoting Franco Morbidelli from Petronas SRT. During all this, Franky was already sitting out a bunch of races owing to his knee surgery, which meant that his place in Petronas SRT was filled at the same time when we saw him in factory colours. Petronas chose Dovi to do the job for the rest of the season, with the contract extending until the end of 2022. Upon his arrival back in the paddock, Dovi also called the rest of the 2021 a pre-season test for 2022 with Yamaha. And now finally, after a long rehabilitation, Franky is back. And after only 2 races in the factory team, he too has said that they are treating the rest of 2021 season like a pre-season for 2022 with factory Yamaha. Franky said, "At Austin, I was not in a condition to fully perform in the race because the track is really demanding on the body and I am still recovering. And 20 laps of quota with my physical condition were really tough. At some point, I was just trying to get the bike to the end. At the beginning of the race, when I was still able to, I wanted to push a little and make some more kilometers to learn and adapt more to the bike. We got some interesting information that we can analyze and we can do something with it for Misano. Of course, the result is not what we wanted, but this is like a pre-season for us. We have to see it in this way. We are collecting interesting data for the next races." For one reason or another, Danilo's move to KTM did not turn out to be as fruitful as both the parties might have wanted. All throughout the year, we kept hearing that the RC16 was simply too small for the gentle giant of the paddock, which meant he suffered in acceleration, on the straights and also under braking. After the season ends, Danilo is off to Dakar with KTM, the key being with KTM. Speaking about Danilo Petrucci, KTM Motorsports Director Pit Beirer said, "With Danilo, the cooperation works very well on the human level, but unfortunately, we did not reach the goals at the races, but we are in the GP paddock to perform in the race. But as a guy and as people, we got a crazy guy in the house with Danilo. That is why at the Dakar, we will now contest with him. After that, we will sit down together and discuss whether a rally future makes sense for him. He is definitely a fast, good off-road rider." Danilo's motorcycle package for Dakar is currently being created. We agreed to discuss after Dakar whether we would continue to ride Dakar and other rally events with him or whether we would do something else with him. But we want to keep Danilo at KTM no matter what position. When we learned that Andrea Dovizioso will be making his comeback to the MotoGP paddock with Yamaha after riding the Ducati for 8 years, everyone thought it would be a hard switch because of the stark contrast between the nature of M1 and that of the Desmosedici. But proving everyone wrong, Andrea Dovizioso didn't only manage to finish in points in one of the most demanding races of the season, he was also the second Yamaha on the track. Since Dovi has inherited Franky's bike for the rest of the season, Franky knows exactly what that bike is capable of and what it takes to be competitive with that bike in 2021. Franky said, "Dovi went very well on the track. I know the bike he rides and I think that he is already very strong. With Ramon Focada, he has already managed to find a good setup that has enabled him to finish in the points in just the second race. They are doing an excellent job." And right before the race at Austin, quite a few MotoGP riders shared how they feel the sport of two-wheel racing could be made more safer, especially for young riders. If you want to know more about that, check out the video in the description below. While most of those suggestions seemed a bit one-dimensional, Andrea Dovizioso went a bit deep and shared his detailed view on the topic. Andrea said, "The obvious aspect is that despite great steps forward in terms of safety, unfortunately there is no solution to crashes where the rider remains on the track. However, a limited opinion is of little use, so we should sit at a table and talk to various experts, those who race, those who make the tracks and those who make the regulations." Further adding his views on whether young riders are perhaps too young, Dovi added, "It is true that there are more and more young people racing. Maybe they don't have much experience, but I don't want to say anything else because sometimes I don't see mature attitude from older riders as well." Further slamming a few angry comments from fellow riders and possibly taking a dig at Jack Miller, Dovi said, "I have my own ideas, but I don't want to shoot my mouth off like some people just because they are angry. In these cases, we need to be constructive." If you made it till here, let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up. To stay up to date on all things MotoGP, hit the subscribe button and don't forget the notification bell. Here are 2 more videos which you might enjoy. My name is Sankalp and I'll be back with another video very soon.